In the update edition of my book, Ramping Your Brand, I added a new chapter at the end. And it's the most terrifying one. Why? Because of what it asks of you, the founder. What it asks that you probably want to avoid deep down. Founders who ride the ramp have to evolve as social actors if they are new to running their own rapidly growing business. And most of you are. And in some cases, this evolution has to happen like super freaking fast, painfully fast. As in 2 executive coaches and a daily ice bath fast. Founders start off as operators. I've talked about this in the new book edition. Whether they like it or not, they're operators. And honestly, this is a role that's hard enough that it knocks most people right out of the competition. If you sucked in school, especially math, or you have extreme executive function issues, you probably won't last. Sorry. Your average founder who survives to, 10 million ARR and beyond remains forever stuck in operator mode. That's what I observe. They're firefighting, they're groaning, they're working in the business, but never on the business. As initial success comes your way through good design and smart operations, you now have more and more opportunities available to you. The trade is probably bringing them to you. Hell, the opportunities are probably coming directly to your inbox. Opportunities you do not want. So the risk becomes distraction and confusion once your operator savvy yields results. Now, the answer is to evolve into a strategist, someone who defines the competitive positioning of the business and says no to anything that doesn't support it. Strategists are the ones who also pace distribution and force the organization to grow velocities as store count builds. They hold the sales team accountable and the marketing team as well. And they work with ops to ensure disciplined, focused supply of the key UPCs. Don't run out of the core. At this point, you have to be more analytical and disciplined. But not soon after. High growth founders need to evolve further into charismatic leaders. Because as you scale, you can't make most of these decisions anymore. Your team has grown. You need to build a culture that motivates above average performance, even from average employees who are not founders. So that is the required evolution of a high growth founder as a social actor. It's chapter 15 in my updated edition, if you want all the deets. This founder evolution is a series of outcomes, though, really. You play the part well. That's the social outcome inside your company. Operator, then strategist, then leader. But what are the behavioral traits that help founders evolve in this way from role to role? I didn't have space in my book to go into this, but here's at least 7 traits that I've gleaned from my work with founders in high-growth companies over the years. And these are the traits that enable the journey from operator to strategist to leader. Number 1, be an autodidact. People who learn new subjects quickly and facilely, all right? They have a huge advantage. Now, I have to confess, this is correlated to being just plain smart, but not more than the top 10% of smartasses, okay? And it may have nothing to do with your high school GPA at all, so don't look at your transcript. Number 2, another trait, the second trait is they're humble about what they do not know. Gosh, this is one that's tough to learn if you're an insufferable know-it-all. Founders who evolve understand that their biggest weakness is knowledge asymmetry versus the professional operator who's looking down on them from their LinkedIn feed. They accept this, and they're constantly ready to admit newbie mistakes. Now, even the seasoned pro, who is humble, will evolve further than they did in prior roles if they have this trait. The third trait that helps enable the founder evolution is curiousness or curiosity. Now, humility is honestly somewhat hard to measure, but curiosity ain't. Founders who evolve immediately ask questions to learn past confusion, or when they are humbled by something they now know that they should have known all along. For example, the difference between units per store per week and weighted velocity metrics. Okay? Folks who intuitively are that curious to fill those knowledge gaps. People who are intuitively prone to filling knowledge gaps without drowning in self-pity and self-loathing. They're the curious ones. Sadly, I think this trait is acquired early in childhood, folks. I actually have no idea how to make an incurious blockhead curious. If you have a more curious co-founder, my suggestion to you is listen to them. Okay, the fourth trait, you got to be able to fail well. Founders who evolve do not emotionally unravel or tantrum when they screw up royally, because you're going to make a bunch of mistakes. They may sigh or they may vent briefly, all normal things, but they quickly isolate the learnings and devise a different approach. They move on. They're not neurotic in the face of failure. And because of that, they don't overthink until the Earth becomes a red giant star in 5 billion years prior to taking a calculated risk. The fifth trait, they're not status-oriented. Founders who evolve aren't motivated by the status of founder, entrepreneur appearing on the cover of Inc. magazine. Come on. I mean, this has developed a crazy, rosy halo, and it's encouraged by bad faith stakeholders who make their entire living, folks, on monetizing those who are about to start or who just started. I mean, I sell a book, but there's people who make 6 figures trying to get you to start, whether you have any aptitude or not. All right. And what they're doing is they're feeding on your lust to be the entrepreneur. So founders who evolve, they're not motivated by the status enabled by some putative exit in the future or from being able to say on LinkedIn that they're a founder. Founders who evolve are just obsessively goal-oriented. I don't know how else to put it. The sixth trait that will enable your founder evolution is that you're prone to experiment, not contemplate. So overanalyzing and wheel spinning has got to be the most deadly sin in entrepreneurship because you're throwing away the big competitive advantage you have as a small, nimble organization versus the big co. They are bureaucrats paid to overthink everything. That slows them down. When you start wheel spinning, you are working like them. I see it a lot, more than you would imagine. At Big Co, funniest thing, they have a name for the antidote to wheel spinning. And they have a name because it's so fucking rare at Big Co. Quote, unquote, a bias for action. This is corporate speak for get shit done. You should analyze, yes, but then you need to stop looking back until there are bad KPIs in your face. The seventh trait, founders who evolve, they're not perfect managers or leaders. Okay, most consumer brands are not well managed, quote unquote, by the standards of calm, slow-moving Big Co. Okay, and that is okay. In phases 1 through 4, outlined in my book, things get broken. Okay, people are learning. You're going to have to apologize a lot. There's no time for massaging egos and venerating the org chart, yada, yada. Okay, this is why groups of very old friends can do unbelievably well in running an emerging brand. The worst thing investors could ever do is look for a behavioral profile that essentially reads, smooth talking public firm CEO. This political savvy, I mean, it's a skill, is not only an irrelevant skill to early stage companies, it almost assuredly correlates with someone who is very status oriented, very risk averse, and quite frankly, not a humble autodidact. I've worked for these organizations for 18 years prior to doing PGS, so it's my belief. I'd rather have a loose talking frat boy, okay, who's otherwise has good intentions, with all of the 7 above traits, than Mr. CEO any day of the week if I were an angel investor. Those are the 7 traits. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the subscribe button on the bottom right of the video window and be first to see new episodes and my other Founder Tips content on my YouTube channel. And remember, be safe out there in Founderland.
Thanks for listening. Remember, Dr. Richardson has loads of resources for founders at premiumgrowthsolutions.com.